Okay, anyone has any question with, thanks.
As you probably all know, I'm a journalist. I've been a journalist for 58 years. 1973, I started working with Chiswick Women's Aid. That is the first ever women's aid in Britain. 51 years later, we're still talking about the same thing this afternoon. Why hasn't it changed?
I don't mind going first.
Okay.
Yeah. In my opinion, I believe that agencies are not working together, particularly when it comes to family courts. This is where everything's going wrong, and until everyone starts working together, we'll start to see a change.
Okay. Anyone else wants to comment? Okay, please.
I could say that because as a society there is a split in society, the ones who rule society and people like us, I could say. And the ones who rule society, they have their own interests, their own agenda. I support fully the LGBT struggle, fine, I'm okay with that. But I believe that the next big campaign is going to be for the rights of left-handed people instead of tackling very, very important issues, crimes like domestic violence, like children abuse, sexual abuse. We don't touch that in any way.
Okay, thank you. I'm coming. It's Duchess Al-Gamal.
I believe the answer to your question as well is unity and everyone to have a voice.
Can I make my own answer? You've got to change, ladies. You've got to change. Yes. I'm very passionate for women, but you haven't changed. You've got to start believing in yourselves. And if you don't, we'll be talking about this in another 50 years. And I'd love to come up and give you a few minutes a minute to show you how to change.
Okay, I have two more. And
thank you, everyone, to have this beautiful ending violence against women topics. As an activist, immigrant, and international leader, I speak because a lot of women. The reason we are still in the same position today, because as a woman, we not respect ourselves. We not put ourselves in front and educating ourselves.
thank you. And I have one more question. And then
Thank you, everybody. That was a very inspiring conference. And I have a question that is particularly for Ita, perhaps, which echoes what you just said, Ramona, about how organizations do or don't work together. In 2000, I was the implementation lead for the National Service Framework for Mental Health for 2 London boroughs, ethnic majority boroughs. And one thing that I did at the time was to bring all the agencies together under one hat. And I wrote a big document where they were all listed, where their remit was listed. I met with all the leaders and made sure that when it came particularly to violence against women and to ethnic participation, these were the two kind of driving issues, that people actually formed proper partnerships, that there was proper educational facilities in colleges. We started counseling courses, and it was specifically aimed for these kind of two kinds of communities, and so on and so forth. And I think we could, as a group of people here, take these things forward together by each of us who has in-reach into the official kind of governance structures and has in-reach into the NGO and civil society organizations to create a big platform, which we did in those days. We had a big platform about knife crime, for instance, and all this can be done now. We have a new Labour government. I think there are new opportunities. And also, Margaret, you, with your group, could take forward that, for instance, we edit what was said today and put it together in a publication and bring this out into the world and make UPF a leader in this field in London, or as a go-to place, you know, where the civil society can make their impact.
thank you. Thanks. I have two more questions. Then
My name is Aurangzeb, and I just wanted to ask a very simple question, and you can just answer me in yes or no. Don't want to take longer. You mentioned the words LGBT, right? I also have none of problem, but I'm against of that. God created the man for women and women for the men. My question to you only, if you believe in it, do you agree that your daughter can be a lesbian or your son will be a gay person? Yes or no?
There is not that answer, yes or no. I am not the owner of my children.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Ambassador Canon Otto, and very well done to the organizers of this event and to you all, our ever amazing speakers. Mine is, I would say, a suggestion, recommendation, but I'll put it in the form of a question to pick up from the question veteran journalist asked. Is it fair to come up with more stern, severe policies for, men, people that have committed violence against women? Because we see that the policies, the laws are not so firm. We know recently when the prisons were trying to be cleared up, there was someone who had committed a crime against his wife, and they just freed him, they just let him go because they felt it wasn't a very severe crime. Even recently, I think last week, it's been on the news, someone that had killed his wife. We know that's not in UK, that was in Russia, but we know these things, the world is a global village. He had committed murder against his wife, and because he was in the military and he was willing to go fight in the war, they freed him. But recently, he had committed the same kind of violence against his current girlfriend. So we see that this is a pattern. If the laws are not so firm and people are penalties that let go easily, the cycle continues. So it's interesting to see that you all have platforms, your veteran lawyers. Do you think it's fair to make the laws more stringent and severe? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone? Yes, please.
As I already mentioned, it's a matter of what our elites need or decide to do. Recently, we had the riots. Just before, 2 weeks before the riots, 5 people were sentenced, Roger Hallam to 5 years, and the other 4 guys, 4 years each, for a video Zoom where they were conspiring to disturb the public order. 5 years and 4 years. 2 weeks later, with the riots, the right-wing riots, 2 guys, to show that there is no double tier, were sentenced, one 30 months for burn a hotel of, I think, 200 people, 200 rooms, which might be 30 million pounds, for instance. And the other guy was sentenced to 20 months for burning a police car value 30,000 pounds. As you already mentioned, if our politicians, if our elites, the people who rule the world decided, and the next person that beats up her partner gets a life sentence, I think it's going to stop just right now.
Sorry, before you say, it's really important for me to tackle Aurangzeb's question. It's a very, very important one. Would you like your children to be? The first thing about human rights is you don't have to agree with the human right to protect it. You can believe it's not right, but you must still protect it. If we want equality for all, if we want equality for people who are different from us, who have different beliefs, who have different practices, and we want our difference to be valued, then we must value every difference. And I hope you will take that away, Aurangzeb, today. Our children are not our property, as this gentleman said, and our children have a right to choose what they want to be. Thank you very much.
Ibrahim Qasim from Al Urban UK platform. First, thank you all for speaking. I think that's amazing event to attend, and we've heard like a lot of amazing speeches. My question is, you've targeted many, let's say, causes for the. Basically, I was asked about the domestic violence, but don't you think that in the last, let's say, 10, 15 years, and I'm not here targeting specifically the LGBTQ thing because that's like a general thing, let's say. But do you think that targeting the family and the family values as a structure has caused a big portion of domestic violence mainly, as in now in the UK and I believe abroad, even in the US and all, let's say in the world in general, family is being targeted. Family could be anything. A wife could break up whenever she wants, with whoever she wants. The husband's the same way. There is no even like a minimum thing of regulation under the title of freedom. So where does freedom stop in that? And I will go back to my main question, that do you think targeting and attacking the family values and family structure does cause this? Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll answer that. Okay, nobody's attacking the family. The family is actually the cornerstone of every society. But what we have to understand is that families change over time, over centuries. And I'll give you the example of a case I did for a Middle Eastern man where he was trying to have contact with his child and he wasn't able to because he had been found guilty of domestic violence. I got him contact with his child. I actually specialize in getting absent fathers contact with their children that they've been fighting for a very long time. Because in law, we believe that children need a mother and father both. But that doesn't mean that the mother has to continue to live in an abusive relationship, continue to take violence from her partner for the child. She can separate and the family can still be a family. Family can still be a family. Father can still play a very important role in the child's life. Can I just say one thing to you? After I finished his case and I got in contact with his child, he said to me, in this country, women have too much freedom. It's not like that in our country. And I said to him, yes, in this country, women have too much freedom. I had the freedom to study. I had the freedom to study law, become a barrister, so I could fight your case today and get you contact with your child.
Thank you so much.